This was last weekend in Nashville. This was a show for 5-year-olds I did today, this morning at 9:30. You don't want to mix up those two set lists. I picked the right stuff based on who I'm looking at, right? If I'm on my game. If I'm not, then we go to the tried and true set list that it never fails. This stuff never fails. I will fail it before it fails me. I'll see you after the show. This place was easy to find tonight, I'll tell you that. Come up 101 and turn left when you smell hilarity and humility. That's a good combination tonight. Or coffee, cigarettes, and Red Bull, depending on who you are. I am particularly funny. I've seen this show before. It's excellent. But if you're having trouble with my name, don't feel bad. There was a point in my career where I had never heard of me at all. And that has changed. Tonight we have a great opportunity to look at the darker side of a challenge. I'm going to ask you tonight to take a healthy risk from time to time. This ticket is hot tonight, hotter than a $100 Rolex. That's what you made this show. So this is the place to be on Saturday in Northern California, unless part of your probation involves not associating with known felons. Some of you are not laughing hard enough. I am the darker side of tonight's entertainment. And remember, evil and live, same letters. Okay, so, all right. I'm afraid to even look over there in that direction at this point, but you were given a humor muscle from birth. Your musculature is human, but you were provided with, I don't know what your faith-based principles of survival are, but if you're a religious person, okay. If you're a spiritual person, okay. If you're an atheist, God bless you. But and if you're agnostic, hey, whatever, really. I admire your casual connection and root for your eventual epiphany. So just hang in there and hope something happens, right? So I know, it's funnier than hell, right? Okay, so but you were given, from birth, you were given the opportunity to experience joy primarily in your existence. Before you could talk, walk, describe your feelings, move from here to there, before you could feed your face to survive or defend yourself against harm of the elements, clean yourself when soiled, before any of those gifts or tools as human, you had this. That was before medication, even. You had the opportunity to laugh. So if you were given that muscle earliest, why isn't it used most often? You still use the alphabet. I mean, I hope. You still use the numeric system, depending on where you live in the world. You know, it's the weight system of measures, metric or whatever we're using. If you have the ability to laugh, why isn't it primary? It's just a question. So the healthy risk tonight is this: nothing in life is truly funny unless it hurt really bad first. Shakespeare said it better than I do, but he was a better writer. Comedy is tragedy plus time. Thank you, Willie. I don't read a lot of Shakespeare. I got a 5-year-old. It's Dr. Seuss and Berenstain Bears at our house, but why don't you laugh more when it's primary in our essence? I'm not judging, I'm just saying. I laugh hard all day. It's usually inappropriate. I'm that guy that giggles really hard when something bad happens to somebody else. I've done thousands of shows in my career. literally thousands. And I've worked for Fortune 500 companies and heads of state and, famous musicians and friends and inmates. Some of those are the same people, actually. And today I had the honor of performing at a 5-year-old's party. 5-year-old. 5-year. You don't want to mix up those two set lists. I'll tell you that right there. The stuff I brought from you for you tonight is amazingly adult, and yet they got it. Intimidating, right? I mean, if IQ was the answer, nobody'd be here tonight. I speak 9 languages. They're all English. And I speak 5-year-old. I'm fluent in female because I'm married and want to stay that way. But I speak corporate, and I speak social, and I speak certain recovery language. There's a few of those people here tonight. They're not back from the, yeah. Oh, you made it back from the smoke break. Okay. Smoke and Moxie, same letters. Okay, so here we go. That's just stupid on my part. Let me get back to the show I wrote. So what I brought for you tonight is a whole bunch of stuff that you can look at from a distance without being judged by your peers. Because your humor muscle is your own. Some of us let that muscle atrophy to the point where if we tried to use it, someone else gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt tonight. Nobody. Unless you want to volunteer to be the victim, Besides, humor will point out where we're fragile, bruised, tender. Humor does that. It will highlight hurt, illuminate illness. It's nature. So tonight, if you don't laugh, it's not because I wasn't funny, it's because you are broken. Somewhere. Now, where you're broken is up to you. But what you want to do about it is up to us. It's a difference between us that allows us to make a difference around us. I know that as I work. Case in point, the 5-year-olds I work for today, they're so pure. They're pure. Do you remember that lens of purity? I know it was a long time ago for some of us because I'm over 50. If I was a gorilla, I'd be a silverback. I'm at that point. I'm about 2 years of wandering off my property at midnight in my pajamas. You know what I mean? But I know that, I have a 5-year-old kid, which is a big span of time between 53 and 5. But at 53, I know some things are changing. I don't see as cloudy as I used to. My vision is better, My hindsight is not 80-20 like it used to be. That revisionist history that some of the dysfunctional, afflicted, convicted community has. I'm one of those guys. I was the homeless guy in the 80s. I lived under a bridge in Oakland for a long time. Nobody's fault but mine. I chose that existence over gainful employment or self-respect or family opportunity or bridges to challenge, which I wanted to cross. I know that now at 53. You know what 53 years old means? It means I've run out of excuses to misbehave. And I don't get laid quite as often, but I've been married for 7 years. That's funny to you. Nobody claps for that. What I'm going to ask you to do tonight is move off of safe to where the energy gets truthful. Not because I say so, but because we take that trip. Alcoholics, certainly. Dysfunctional family, yeah, my dad would hit you so hard that you would black out as a kid. And then he would keep hitting you because he was offended. You couldn't stick around for the full beating. I grew up in that house. That's not the house I'm going home to tonight. I get to watch a 5-year-old kid. I hope to God we get to some place in our lives down the road from tonight where that situation is so common we don't clap for it anymore. I put my son to bed. He was about 3. And I put him to bed. It's funny, bedtime's a relative term, really, When you're single, that could be noon, right? Remember when the kids were little and you could just put them in the middle of a bed surrounded with pillows and go away for the whole weekend, you know? Come home Monday, change a diaper. All right, you're all right. We're good, you know. Did somebody call CPS already? Did they call? Okay. But I put them to bed, and I realized that bedtime is a gift, right? For the parents. I used to tell my parents when I was little, because I was a feisty, loud cuss, you know. When I get older, I'm going to go to bed whenever I want. Turns out that's about 7:30, actually, every night. Really, Daddy's pooped. So I put Grace into bed, and about an hour later, I come down the hall and there's a light on under his door. I know I turned that light off. I know I put that kid tucked in tight. I know he was secure. I opened the door and he's standing by his bed. He goes, "What are you doing in here?" And I left. I go, sorry. Hey, wait a minute. What the? You ever been so mad at your kid you want to punch your spouse in the mouth? Boom! What was that for? Well, I know it's wrong to hit him. CPS ain't going to take you away. Although, wouldn't that be a burden? Mrs. Lundholm, we're taking your husband. Ooh, punish me. Bring him back after Easter. We gave up sex for Lent anyway. I don't care. I'll see you in May. Normal people don't laugh right there. Normal people don't laugh right there. The two groups of people I'm looking at tonight, normal and the rest of us. The rest of us laugh at criminal. Chemical and criminal. Not the same letters, but the same direction. Let me tell you that right now. So I said to him, "What are you doing, buddy?" He goes, "Dad, I'm looking at my books." Well, it's an hour after bedtime. I want to drop the heavy hand of dadhood there. Follow direction, right? I gave you instruction. Put you to bed. You don't get out of bed without permission, boy. I heard my father. I forgave my dad years ago. Because forgiving my father prevented me from becoming my father. Freedom starts with forgiveness. So I said, "What books you reading?" "I'm going to bust them for looking at books at 3. Counterproductive, I think, there. But my disease isn't alcohol, which I adored. That put out the flame of shame for a 5-year-old abused boy. Or, marijuana, which was artificial intellect and stimulating in conversation. And good for junk food. Or cocaine, which was necessary if you had a job in the 80s. But see, normal people don't laugh right there. Now you know which group you're in, don't you? Normal and the rest of us. The rest of us went, we had all jobs in the 80s, really. We had, you needed a job if you did cocaine, right? 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 Normal people still aren't laughing. What's wrong with him? Does he have allergies? What happened to the guy? Normal means most. Most people tonight in here are normal. The rest of us? Normal means most, and the rest of us are not like most people. We didn't grow up in that house that was loving and safe and supportive. Normal people have a different vocabulary than the rest of us. Normal people invented words like valor and honor, hope. The rest of us, we designed words like allegedly, probable cause, and the 4 most beautiful words in the English language, sentences to run concurrent. Normal people aren't clapping right now at all. They're not like... If you're wondering which group you're in, DOC. Normal people, it's short for document. That lady who cackled, drug of choice, Department of Corrections, either one. Pick which, run concurrent at some point if you want to know the truth. If you're really curious about normal, the rest of us, think of the words you use all the time that you don't really understand if you're normal because you have trust, Bag. Bag for normal people is luggage. Dirty bottle is not evidence in a courtroom. It's recycling. Recycling for the rest of us, Coke booger. Nothing got simpler than that, you know? Oh, we found an issue in the room. There's always a codependent in this group. They have a mating call in public. Aww. Aww. If you're a hardcore addict, alcoholic, criminal mentality, and you hear, aww, you kind of think, that's hot right there. She probably got a fixed address. Ooh. All her own teeth. Yummy. That's hot, all your own teeth. Look at the normal people. We paid 20 bucks for this? Seriously? 20 bucks? But regardless of which group you're in, normal or the rest of us, there is a common path, and humor provides enlightenment for unfairness and how to walk away from it. If life was fair, nobody would die before their parents. That's the saddest thing I can think of on this planet, is to outlive your own kid. If life was fair, nobody would be addicted to anything. We'd all be possessed with a passion to serve, to share, to be generous, genuine. If life was fair, teachers in this country would get paid $1 million a year, and professional athletes would work for tips. The Oakland Raiders would owe you money. Really, seriously. Yeah. Aren't you tired of getting burned by those guys? Sorry about the defense Sunday. Here's your check for $100. Coming back? Are you coming back? Are you coming back? The rest was, yeah, we come back. I get to do work all over this planet based on the way I think. And the way I think was absolutely affected by what I was taught and what I saw at my house growing up. My lens for looking at life is cracked and cloudy and warped and absolutely dysfunctional. I don't see anything normal, primarily. My disease isn't alcoholism or drug addiction or self-centeredness. It's first thought wrong. First thought wrong. Incorrect, impolite, cruel, self-centered, criminal, abusive, some form wrong. First thought. Sometimes second thought, wronger. 15th thought, wrongest yet, slow down, recalculating. When possible, make an illegal U-turn. No, we don't have time for legal. Legal's for normal people. Criminal doesn't mean bad. Criminal means caught. First thought wrong. 13 years old, I'm in front of the judge. I pleaded maybe. He didn't think it was funny at all. It's like somebody in public say, what's your first name? Why would you hear? What do you know? Where are you from? I was watching TV. I'm always watching TV in a hotel. I spend about 225 days on the road every year. I would spend 360 on the road if I thought it would make more of a difference, to bring some kind of sanity to the insane life without humor or mirth or joy. It was given to you early. TV commercial comes on and it says, when you really think about it, what's more important than whiter teeth? A lot? A whole bunch? Everything? How great is your day when your whole priority is worrying about the blessings of bleach? So I bought it, I bought some. And I did, but I can't use it on the road in a hotel because it comes in a syringe. And I don't want to accidentally forget and throw it away in the wastebasket in the hotel room, because I don't want to be that guy. Hey, did you hear about the sober guy that was here to do the benefit? The sober guy? Yeah, too bad about his relapse at the Ramada. The Ramada makes you want to relapse, but he did. He really did. We found syringes in his, it's too bad. And he had such a nice smile. So sad. I have selective hope. I'm a cynic by nature. You grew up in my house, If it was good, it wasn't going to last, and if it was bad, it was going to continue, especially if you mentioned it. Especially if you mentioned it. If you mentioned it, you got more of it. I'm not the dad I had. So my boy is not the son I was. Because I'm the man I get to be. He can be whatever he wants to be. But he's 5. He's annoying. When he was 4, my wife and I were considering having another baby. A real one this time. You know, a real one, a good one. Look at the codependents. Aww. So Grayson, my boy, he had been talking to my wife. I was on the road and I came home one night, and the next morning for breakfast, it was the first time I'd seen him in a while. And I said, "How you doing, buddy?" He goes, "Dad, I think I would like a baby sister." I looked at Mom, she goes, if you've been married a while or partnered up with somebody, I don't know what your sexual orientation is, and I don't care. I really don't care. I just know that if you're gay, you're complicated. Too much maintenance, man. I couldn't do it. All that grooming and handscaping, I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? That was my first thought. Was that wrong? Was that really wrong? There might be 3 groups of people in this room right now. Normal, the rest of us, and hey, can he say that? God doesn't care. Addiction doesn't care. True humans don't care. I hope you make love to somebody soon. I don't care who it is. I hope you know who it is this time, okay? So, normal people don't clap for that, sir. Yeah, I'd like to know some names next time. I'd like to know some names. Tired of writing down tattoo descriptions, you know? She said she was from Livermore, but who the hell knows? You know, in the East Bay, they lie. So Grace said, "Dad, I would like a baby sister." I looked at Julie, and there's a look that passes between people who've been together for a while. There's just a look. Like, she can look at me and do this. That means, you said you'd do it, go do it. Right? This look meant, yeah, we've been talking about it. She goes, I said, if you're a married guy, you know that's permission. Right? She goes, so I said, well, does it have to be a baby sister? Yeah, Dad, I decided. That's a lot of pressure on Dad. Dad, you could do it. I look at Julie, she goes, because she's 37, I'm 53, you know what I mean? It's hilarious to her that I'm older, and it's hilariouser to her when I get older, right? So I looked at him and I said, well, let me ask you a question, buddy. Since we're on this subject, and he's eating cereal the whole time, you know, he doesn't stop. I said, do you know how we make a baby? He goes, yeah, Dad, you have fertilizer. Mom has an egg. And when the fertilizer gets together with the egg, the baby grows in Mommy's tummy till it's time to come out. I was very impressed. I look at Julie, she goes, that means, hey, stuff gets done when you're on the road. See, we work. I'm doing my job. So I said, before I could ask the question, I said, so buddy, he goes, Dad, does Mom swallow the fertilizer? Julie goes, that means you're on your own, Poppy, right? I said to him, not if you really want a baby sister. He goes, okay, Dad. He was done. What you give energy to will continue. But my first thought was wrong. Could she swallow the fertilizer? Not like her sister, not like she used to. I don't know, all kinds of thoughts. That's how I think. That was risk number 1. That's who you're looking at all day. God made me, first thought wrong. Perfectly broken from birth. That's the rest of us. There's a torture chamber we make for ourselves when we stay inside our own minds and never let that out. I'm not afraid of what you think. I'm afraid you won't hear what I think, and I'll have to live with it all the way home. Recovery is the distance between first thought wrong and next right thing. But that's who I am all day. Spiritually retarded, financially irresponsible, socially awkward, chemically challenged, criminal in nature, morally flexible. But if you want healing and hilarity, you got to start somewhere. Physics dictate that you can't find the center of anything till you define the edges. That's physics. We're in a university tonight. They know that. So go to the edge. Well, here it is. First thought wrong. Sometimes 25 years later, I'm capable of a second thought when it comes to that. Wow, that's liberating. My wife's got a master's degree in communication, which is redundant for a female, but she's very smart, right? I got my AARP card at 50, and that was the funniest day in her life. She handed me the piece of mail. They just send it to you. They don't ask. They don't ask. They know. They know. Welcome. Your life's almost over. Good luck with the rest. If you need anything, call us. It's like a dope deal. First one's free. You know where to go now. See, normal people don't laugh like that at that joke right there. So I took the card out and I threw it away. She goes, no, let's keep that. Let's keep that. Let's keep that card for you. I said, why would we keep that? She goes, well, here's what I was thinking. Next time we're making love, why don't you lick that card and stick it to your forehead? My first thought was wrong. What kind of porn does she watch when I'm gone, right? Stick it. I said, why would I do that? She goes, well, that way, if you're not hitting it as well, I'll know why. First thought wrong. When we got married, my fantasy was a threesome. After 5 years of marriage, my fantasy was a twosome. She and I, just a lot more often. My fantasy now, some days, honest to God, how can I turn off her airbag, hit a tree, watch her go through the windshield? And get the insurance without getting caught for any premeditated. I go to bed at night with a Woody thinking about that. Honest to God, that's hot, man. Just send her right through there. Now, if you're not laughing at that, you ain't been married very long. There's a part that's devastating to find out. This is it forever? Really? Seriously? Oh my God. First thought wrong, I want to chew off my own nutsack in frustration right now. Well, I'm 50. I'll hire somebody to chew it off now. When I'm 70, I could throw it in my own mouth. You know what I mean? Just whoop. That's a tough picture to get out of your head from after tonight. It really is. See an old guy and go, wow. Wow. Why did he say that in public? I have the luxury of speaking to you in any fashion I want tonight, and I won't curse, but you'll think I did. Did the light dim, or do I have a brain tumor? All of a sudden, there's karma. God went, you're done. Did that light dim? Thank God. Bless the sweet baby Jesus in a manger with hay and horses, for God's sakes, right now. My first thought was wrong. I'm going to die in Santa Fe. At least let's drive me to Marin while I'm still breathing. Please, just drop me off at Petaluma. They got cake. I was coming in here tonight through the parking lot. This is first thought wrong, Kurt. I've never said this on stage before. Because it just happened. And I know how it ends. That's why I'm giggling. The guy says, yeah, I used to live right over there. Real close. Big house, big yard. And I thought, San Quentin? Nice to see you. Way to go. I'm not kidding, because it's real close, San Quentin. I've been there probably 25 times in my career. San Quentin. The problem with criminal and addicted, conflicted, afflicted people is that our curse is our gift. We always get what we want. Always. What we want is flawed or fractured or frayed in some way. But we always got where we want it. You want more? You get more. You want some? You get some. You want none? You'll be left with none. You want it? You got it. I've been clean 23 years, and in that time, I've learned what to want. Here's what I can do for the guys who get out, or the inmates, or the homeless. I can teach you what to want, and this year, I can show you how to keep it. We listen. We listen to her, to him, to them. And we know what to want, you know? We got a car out there that's paid for. I got a driver's license that's valid. I know, right? Normal people lose their license, it's in a seat cushion or a pocket of a clothing piece, you know? They don't have to reapply or go to court and say, you know, I'm really sorry. Normal people don't drink and drive. They don't lie about it either. They wear a seatbelt because it's safe. Not because you don't want a ticket. The rest of us, we get pulled over. We're mad at that guy for taking care of us. Yeah, whatever, man. First thought wrong, I got pulled over, and the cop was really short. That's a gift from God if you're a comedian right there. That's just a cop who's short. He's not going to survive this interaction, right? He walks, a motorcycle cop to boot. Double gift, Jesus. My first thought was, what would Judas do, right? WWJD, right? So he comes up, he walks up to the truck, and I'm in a truck, and he goes, how you doing? I said, I'm up here, how are you? Swear to God. His face changed forever. He goes, well, I'll tell you why I stopped you. I go, before you do that, before we get started here, do they make smaller bikes for the little cops? So I'm in the back of his car, right, that he called, right? He called for help because riding on the back, not good for him. I'd be tickling him and everything, you know. Too much? Okay. But I don't think like normal people. That's one of the reasons I do what I do for a living. I get to talk to kids about what it's like to have courage in a direction that's unique instead of boxed in or safe or obvious. I'm not a fan of obvious. I'm not a fan of everything the same. I knew that as a kid, you could never talk about it. My mom was a medicated person. She had a medicine cabinet full of pills. She called it her happy place. That's my happy place. Do not go near there. That's a mixed message for a kid. I can't go to happy? Really? I gotta. So I crawled up the stepladder, got in there, and there were pills everywhere, you know? And I remember a sleepover at a friend's house shortly after that, and I walked and I looked at their medicine cabinet. They had nothing. I thought, these people are miserable. No pills, they can't afford happy. Aw, poor folks, aw. My wife's happy without pills. I can lose my patience without losing my temper. There's a whole bunch of shortcuts now because I'm older. But I don't always remember that first thought wrong, you know? Grayson just graduated from junior K. I didn't know they had a junior K till I had a junior K kid, right? Junior K? That's like Stanford. I did a show at Stanford for the freshmen. You know what the average GPA at Stanford is? You know what it is? You know what it is? Anybody here go to Stanford by applause? No, really. Anybody here? What year did you graduate? 76. Ooh, yeah. My first thought's wrong. 52, yeah. That's good. What'd you major in? Business. Okay, can you be more vague for us, seriously? Business. That means you didn't really go to class and you smoked weed. Good weed, because you're at Stanford. All right. I know, normal people don't laugh right there. Why is he picking on her? She's just telling the truth. Business major. What do you do for a living now? Nonprofit. I'm sure Stanford's very proud. The average GPA when you were there was probably what?
4.2.
I know! 4.4 this year. I didn't know that was possible. Better than excellent? No. 4.4. That's a lot of sucking up. I went to San Jose State. I majored in business with a minor in controlled substances. And my minor became my major. That's all I can tell you right now. That sounds like a voice in my head, actually, seriously. I hear that voice when the old lady falls off the curb and chips her teeth, right? It just, excuse me, ma'am, can I help you? Can I help you up there? No, my first thought was wrong. That was my other, come on. I want to give you permission tonight, if you want to accept the invitation, to laugh at yourself in a way that's outside the box. Because I think there's some common ground there. My wife and I were arguing, which is a civil equation at our house. It's quiet. We've been together 10 years. We've been married for 7. We've been in therapy for 9. And true story. That's not out of sequence if you're the rest of us. You know? Normal people go to therapy to support other people. We're the primary clients, she and I. She's an ex-crankster. You know, crankster. They're off. Now, if you're normal, I'll define crankster, okay? A methamphetamine addicted person, crankster, okay? Normal people would never even try to snort meth. I can't. Can I buy some of that from you? No, I don't have any money on me. I'll go get it. Just stay right here on the corner of Lower Broadway and East 27th. Just stay right here at 3 in the morning. Just stay right here for a minute. I'm so selective about my memory and my courage. And at 53 years old, I'll tell you what, courage for me used to be an East Oakland dope deal at 2 in the morning down an alley I never saw before. I'm going. Courage now, at my age, eating barbecue ribs in a white shirt. Ooh. That's as brave as I get, man. But with my wife, I'll hand you a shortcut if you're in a relationship with somebody you love. The argument I win is the one I don't enter. I don't have to be right. I learned that from my son. My wife and I were arguing, and it sounded like this. I said to her, I learned this in therapy. It took me 2 years. I said, I hear what you said. That one sentence. Because I'm smart. Took me 2 more years to add this. So is this where I respond or remain silent? Silent, okay. Same letters as listen. I'll go over here, all right? So the argument was about money, you know, or the lack of, actually, is what it is. And I said to her, I'm confused and I don't have the right words up here. Can I have about 5 minutes? Please. She goes, certainly. That's wife for, attaboy. Good going, little guy. Working so hard, aren't you? She couldn't contain the contempt and the glee for my angst. Okay. I walk over, Grayson goes, Dad, are you guys arguing? I said, yeah, we are, buddy. I said, what's rule number 1 when we argue? He says, it's never my fault. Because we tell him that all the time. It's not your fault when we argue, ever. And we argue. I want him to know what it looks like to have an argument with somebody you care about. The tone, the choice of words, the focus. I don't yell at home. Volume doesn't substitute for content. When everybody's loud, nobody gets heard. I don't yell at him because it frightens him. I don't know, he's PTSD when it comes to noise. Maybe it was a conception process, but it's, it was fairly loud. She's a prankster, okay? That's the way they are. She's an ex-prankster, got 16 years clean, and amazing, but it doesn't go away. Hotel room on the road, still a trigger for my wife. And the worse the hotel room, the more attention Daddy gets, right? We don't stay anywhere nice anymore, man. Here's the point. I don't yell at home because it frightens my boy. I don't yell at my wife because it's unproductive in a marriage, as it turns out. A loud, arrogant husband is the #1 cause of vaginal dryness in this country. That's the only medical fact in the show that I have, the only one. You want to hear my first thought? It's wrong. Say that again, ma'am?
They never remember that.
They never remember that. I have a question for you. Help out a guy who is a little misinformed, misguided, certainly misdirected as a child, because I want to know what manhood looks like and what womanhood certainly is. Who's they? The rest of the group knows where I'm going with this already. They're like, who's they? You're out? Let's talk about commitment for a minute, just for a second. Who's they? You said they never remember that. How many of they have there been? And a follow-up question, Your Honor, if I may. If they all have the same pattern, is it all their fault at some point? I mean, you can't blame the fly for landing on a pile of poop, really, can you? Really? It's our nature, right? God bless you, sir, for laughing so hard at that, even though you're in peril right now. You're in peril. I don't care if you live 4 blocks from here. It's going to seem like 90 miles to Nevada right now. It was funny. What? Wow, what a night. What a night. She had to open her mouth, right? She can't do that at home, but in public, sure, whatever, right? What was your first thought? Was it wrong? God bless you, princess. I hope it continues to go well for you. But there is a portion of our existence that has to do with discretion. You know, tonight, it's not toxic if you don't want to wear it home. The people that we're trying to help tonight, they think like this all day long. The reason they won't be homeless 2 years from now, 10 years from now, is they decided to stop putting their hand out. Every time I put my hand out and somebody put $1 in there, I stayed homeless $1 longer. Don't give money to the homeless people. Don't do it. You know what we think about you when you walk away? That's all it costs you to clean your conscience. You're pathetic. You feel better about yourself because you put $1 in my hand? That's what we think. If you give it to places like St. Vincent de Paul, they will introduce us to the next version of ourselves. They do it every single day. Every day. I've taken a few risks tonight. It's not about being liked. It's about being honest about the awkward Because if we can do it tonight for an hour, what can we do with a whole day with people who are really hard to tolerate? Your family. My wife and I don't agree on everything, but if two people in a relationship were exactly the same, one of them would be unnecessary. I know, look at the potheads. Dude, what? What? Slow down, man. This isn't my hotel. God made normal and the rest of us to create balance, because balance is the antidote to unfairness, and sense of humor is the introduction to balance. In whatever form you laugh, it's not important to me that you like me all night. It's important that you fall in love with who you are and how you think, and that's okay, because nobody else has to wear your verbal vomit, because there's a filter between brain and face. I don't know why you're laughing right now. I don't. My first thought is, am I back in detox all of a sudden? There's people just, for no reason. I get to travel all the time, and I have to put a hat on first thought wrong. I was in San Jose Airport. I live in San Jose, California. I was born and raised in Oakland. Went to school at San Jose State. I spent a lot of time up in Northern Cal, and I went to jail in Livermore. So there you have it. That's the thumbnail sketch. But I'm flying recently, and I'm going through TSA, and I got a new guy at TSA, and he's nervous. TSA guy, new. TSA, which stands for totally sorry attitude at all. I'm getting ready to come through the metal detector, and he goes, and I'm giggling. It's 5:45 in the morning, and I'm giggling. What a gift, right? He looks like a guy in East Oakland. Only he's getting paid for that, right? And so I come through the metal detector, and I go, he goes, something funny? I go, yeah, but I can't tell you what it is. He said, you've been selected for special screening. First thought wrong, I'll mess with him. I go, I've been chosen. You ever watch a homophobe reset their mental computer? They blink their eyes. I need a male assist on 2, please. Male assist on 2 immediately. Male assist on 2. Old timer comes over. He sends the kid to pat me down. The kid thought it was going to work out differently. Male assist, you go touch that guy, right? Old timer goes, go ahead. Kid goes, I am in heaven over there. Come to Papa. I'm standing over there and I go, he goes, I have to give you a special pat down using the back of my hand. I said, use all 10 fingers, I'll buy you breakfast. I need security to 2, please. All security immediately to 2. All security immediately to 2. I have to be careful with first thought wrong leaking out of my face, because I haven't filtered it with compassion or a good meal or rest or prayer. You know, the shortest prayer in the world is help. He knows who you're talking to. Or she or they know who you're talking to. Help, yeah. They know who needs the help. Way before you ask them. Help. Good. My God laughs so hard during the day and curses so much, I try to keep up. Because a good curse word is perfectly placed from time to time. There are no words that are here by accident. They're purposeful. If you don't like a word, don't own it. Don't become it. What you give energy to will continue. It's just a word, right? When I say the F word, just that. What was your first thought? Freedom? Faith? Fatherhood? Philosophy? Any of the other ones you could have chosen? No. But what's the first word pops in your head when you get a letter from the IRS? Yeah, right? Perfect word. You never hear, sweet. Opportunity to grow. Potential immense coming. Let's open this baby up. They're just words, right? Well, the struggle for first thought wrong is to pick the right words to describe what comes next or after or healthy. It's a long walk for me, from me to healthy, in here. All day, every day. It's the way I was made. I was sitting in an airport in a little town in Indiana, a tiny airport, one gate, little prop plane, and they're minding my own business and sitting there looking and saying, oh my gosh, okay, so got to get on the plane. Guy walks up and his feet are right here. Big feet, he's standing right there. And I look up, he goes, you need 2 seats there, buddy, for you and your travel bag? Huh, need 2 seats there, pal? I understand the question, but the delivery's a little harsh. And it's early and I haven't had my coffee yet. Coffee! If you're addicted to it, you're addicted to all. Coffee, food, relationships, sex, which are different for people. Normal people have relationships with no sex. Can you imagine? So I filtered first thought because I wanted my coffee and I hadn't had it yet, so the filter's not fat. It's thin and brittle. And I said, no, sir, I don't need 2 seats. He goes, my wife and I would like to sit down. That okay with you, superstar? My first 15 thoughts are wrong. His Johnson is right there. He's like 68 years old. Not a small target, right? I said, no, sir, you and your wife, please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to know we can get a seat for our plane ride. What you give energy to will continue. So I just looked at my little iPod, and I'm looking, and he goes, I don't know who you think you are. And I said, excuse me. Sir, your wife is an incredible human being. How the hell would you know? She would have to be, don't you think? Not a word. If we pick the right words, we never have to apologize for the thought. I've never had to say I'm sorry for the way I think. I make a living based on the way I think. People I love think like I do, and the normal people in my circle know I think like this. There's a bridge we cross every single time we show up together to do something great like tonight. Thinking is not a crime. The ability to navigate through unfairness without using it as leverage is the gift. I walked over in the argument with my wife, and my boy came over. He goes, Dad, you're arguing with Mom? I said, yeah, buddy. What's rule number 1? It's not my fault. I said, yeah, that's true. He goes, whose fault is it? I said, I think it's mine. He goes, that's what I was thinking. My first thought was, why did I sleep with your mother ever? Not even one time. 10 seconds of joy, 18 years of grief now raising this kid. I'm exaggerating. Might not be 18 years we haven't, but what's the penalty for thinking in an abnormal direction? There isn't one. The penalty is living in that direction of infection past the point of thinking. I discover that all the time. I redid my website. It's beautiful. It's a necessary part of the entertainment business. You got to attract and promote. My wife was livid. My wife came to bed one night, and I'm wearing my CPAP machine because I got sleep apnea. My seventh thought is this. CPAP, it's continuous positive airway pressure. It's for sleep apnea. Sleep apnea leads to a whole bunch of stuff. It's where you stop breathing in the night. You stop breathing while you're sleeping. I have severe sleep apnea. I stop breathing 55 times a minute. Seriously. That's an exaggeration too. But it leads to Alzheimer's and something else I can't remember. But it's a serious thing. And a CPAP, it's like a cross between a snorkel and a Pulp Fiction ball gag you see at the end of the movie. Not a sexy device at all. I go to bed at night, I'm scuba Bruce Willis, man. It's awful. So I put my CPAP machine on, and it... Who's your stepdaddy? You know what I mean? It's just not. My wife goes, you know what? I'm really upset with you, which is good communication, you know? I'm really upset with you. That's fair. Yeah. I said, okay. About what? She goes, that website. That website. You know what? That website. We can't afford that right now? Really? You ever look at your calendar and there's too much month at the end of the money? I said, well, I think it's important. It provides for us. Yeah. Well, why now? Why not? Unilateral decision on your part. You didn't check with me. First thought wrong, second thought wrong, third thought wrong. I said, can we talk about this in the morning, please? I love you. I want to get some sleep. I don't have the words. She goes, fine. I go to sleep next morning. I'm still upset. I'm still mad. I'm still angry. I'm very angry. Shortcut number 2 for the younger generation. When you're mad at somebody, do something nice for them. Pretty hard to be angry when you're being of assistance. It's almost impossible to be depressed when you're helping somebody else. Almost impossible. I said to her, you want a chai tea at Starbucks? That's her drink. Chai tea. Grande, no water, 6 pump, chai extra hot. That's my wife's drink. She doesn't even drink coffee and she was a crankster. That's just dishonest. Normal people drink decaffeinated coffee. What the no. Decaffeinated coffee. That's like a hooker who won't do it. Can't call it that anymore. So I said, can I get you a chai tea? She goes, that would be nice. I said to Grayson, hey buddy, you want to go to Starbucks? Dad, you getting chai tea for Mama? Yeah. When I'm mad at her, I buy her something. Doesn't even have to be expensive. Doesn't even have to be a lot. I just have to do it because my first thought's wrong. I buy her something. There are shortcuts to life. If you got to keep it a secret, don't do it. Freedom starts with forgiveness. The argument I win is the one I don't enter. And what I pay attention to will go on. So I said to him, yeah, let's go to chai tea. Let's go to Starbucks, get a chai tea. He goes, Dad, can I have a coffee cake at Starbucks? First thought wrong, second thought, third thought, I got a spoiled kid, I got a spoiled family, everybody want. Am I some kind of punk at my house? I said, well, he goes, yeah, Dad, coffee cake, Starbucks, coffee cake. I said, that's 3 times you asked me, I haven't even answered you yet. Maybe. But if you ask me again before we get there, the answer is no. Okay, Dad. Okay. 2 seconds out of the driveway. He goes, hey, Dad. I go, what is it, buddy? He goes, I'm licking my lips. Do you know why? No, buddy, what is it? I'm thinking about something crumbly. But I can't tell you what it is right now. I can't tell you. Not till we get to Starbucks anyway. And I thought, you manipulative little litigator, you're just like your mother. And I was laughing so hard. Tears were coming out my eyes. And 2 things happened. I forgot to be mad. I forgot to be upset. Heaven forbid I should forget to be upset when I feel like being upset. And the second thing is, I can't even see right now, driving the car. This would be a perfect time to have her go through the windshield. I missed a chance. Laughter does 2 things. It'll point out where we're broken. I hope you found some of those places tonight. The second thing it does is it lessens the shame, removes the threat of any topic. And humor will always make a subject easier to remember. You did a lot of work tonight. You did a great job tonight. I've seen my show before. You were awesome. Humor has a way of attaching itself to a truth that makes it memorable. You were born special. Are you willing to do the work on your humor muscle to become unforgettable to other people? I know we do that. I know that people left this planet before us so that we wouldn't grieve forever, but we'd make a monument of ourselves to honor their memory. Good night. Good night. Thank you. God bless. Thanks. Good night. Okay. Good night. Thank you.
Big round of
Thank you.
applause!
Thanks very much. God bless you. Take a bow. Hey, you.
Hey, great show.
Oh, thanks for coming, you guys. God bless. I'm glad you came. How you doing?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.